Let's go, boys and girls. Hot Toys has just unveiled a new 2.0 version of Captain America in his Stealth S.T.R.I.K.E suit. These updates look amazing so far. Let's take a closer look and see what Steve's new kit has to offer. Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be diving into the new Captain America Stealth S.T.R.I.K.E suit by Hot Toys. Now this is a second version of this figure. It features Steve in his awesome stealth suit taken straight from the Captain America Winter Soldier film. The suit also happens to be my favorite MCU costume, so I'm really glad they've been able to get him upgraded. It's also hard to believe that's already been 10 years since his first model, MMS 243, was released. There was also a special Endgame edition, which was released previously that you can see here. This one really only featured a couple of new accessories from the first release, but doesn't have an entirely new design like the 2.0 version, right? This 2.0 version features a brand new head sculpt, body sculpt, as well as hands. Also, the fabric outfit has been updated so it can be more easily moved around and just has a really good amount of nice new highlighted accents. Whereas the 1.0 version, although still looked pretty amazing, it did have some articulation problems, right? So I'm glad to see Hot Toys releasing this new version. Let's get more into Cap's figure details. First, I want to do a quick comparison between the two figures. Version 1 here is on the left-hand side, and you can see that right off the bat, the body looks pretty different, right? The body is a shade wider and shorter, making the proportions look a little too stocky. The arms also stick out a little more and feel a shade less natural to me. Also, the costume fabric and coloring looks lighter and just doesn't have that gritty stealth look, right? Also, his head sculpt looks a little out of date in comparison to the 2.0 version. Although I still do like how the original version did come out, it's definitely just not as good as the updated one, right? 2.0 version on the right is scaled much better, proportionally speaking. The head sculpt looks more rather like Chris Evans, including the hair and skin tone. Also, the costume just looks a lot better. The silver star lines have more like sheen to them, whereas the darker tones use black stand out even more, right? So from a comparison perspective, 2.0 is definitely looking sharper across the board, right? In terms of accessories, Cap comes with a really good amount of updated goodies. Most of these have essentially been redesigned from the ground up and are not reskins or reissues off of version 1.0, right? In terms of his set, it comes with essentially 2 new head sculpts with those separate rolling eyes. You get those 3 different interchangeable lower faces, which allow you to get those solid, battle-ready type of faces going on, right? Several new pairs of updated hand molds, a separate helmet, which Cap can actually hold in his hand while staying unmasked, which is pretty good. Also get the awesome new shield, which has better paint applications and just like a more solid feel to it. And then there's the new magnetic figure base, right? This is much better than the standard plastic figure stand that you typically get. It just feels more premium. So overall, really good set of accessories that come with Steve, and Hot Toys did a really good job filling up his kit with some of these new ones, right? Now, moving on to Steve's updated design, there's a couple different shots of him at scale here. The left one features Cap in a more dynamic pose, which allows you to see some of how his articulation will potentially turn out. I really like how they updated the fabric looks of his costume rather, and how it could be more seamlessly moved around with the poses that you put him in and not crunch up as much. Also, the coloring just stands out so much better, right? Especially the silver accents used throughout his chest area. The brown sort of pleather type of coloring that they've used also looks more clean and stable than the predecessor and just also feels more premium to me. Whereas the shot on the right features Steve more in a superhero action pose. You get some nice shots of his belt there and how these leathering applications came out and how the actual details look on his waist. Also get to see how his torso twists more freely along with that shield posing and shoulder movement as well. One thing I really am liking so far is how he holds his shield as well. It just feels more natural to me along with the poses that you can able to put him in. So overall, great figure design from what I can see so far. In terms of additional details, these shots feature an unmasked Steve, right? You can really see the updated head sculpt and how it came out and just how more realistic it looks. Also, it's really more on point with Chris Evans' face, including both his hair, the skin tones, and everything, right? So now it also does come with 2 different head sculpts with rolling eyeballs, right? One of the head sculpts feature him with his helmet on, and the other one with it off, right? Which is what you see here. I really do like the facial expression that they've also used for his updated head sculpts, and the fact that it also can be changed out is just a big plus. In terms of the suit itself, you can see the updated fabric more closely here on the right, and how the fabric feels more like embossed and premium. It's less of a flat type of fabric like they had in version 1.0, right? And the shield itself also looks great. Some nice updates to it in terms of the initial design and coloring and paint applications. I'm not sure if it's still plastic versus hard metal. I'm assuming it's plastic, but we'll have to wait and see once we get our hands on it, right? Otherwise, some really nice details on point by Hot Toys so far. Now, looking more into Cap shields, you really get to see some nice details of it here. The weathered paint applications look great, right? The blue tone was done really well, and the silver accents around it have that awesome, nice like sheen to it. It's not too dull and not too shiny, making it look much more realistic. Also, I like how it feels more premium than original, and how it sits so well on both his arms and his back. Scale shield also feels somewhat the same. It doesn't feel out of proportion, which is good. Now, unfortunately, the shield isn't magnetic, so you kind of have to put it manually, right? Whereas like the Age of Ultron figure, you can kind of magnetically stick it on, right? Which makes it much easier to manage poses with and without the shield. Although it is like marketed as a newly developed shield, it does still have that classic stealth feel to it, and really do like how it matches the suit like overall and so well. Just wish it was magnetic, right? Quickly moving to his interchangeable lower faces, you got three options here. And I'm glad that they were able to add this in because 1.0 versions always kind of felt a little too museum-ish for me. So now you can actually adjust the facial expressions and opens up more options for him, right? Now, in terms of the expressions, the standard one on the left here, which is used primarily in the 1.0 versions that you got to see there, right? The one in the middle has that more ready to fight sort of look with his lower teeth coming out. And then the third one has his like really more in-depth battle look, which you've seen Chris Evans portray a lot in like a lot of his fights in the MCU movies. This one has both of sets of teeth coming out more. And although it is my least favorite kind of lower facial expression, just because it feels a little over the top, it still came out pretty good, especially when you compare it to how Chris Evans does his facial expressions in the MCU movies, right? And I really just like how they've given us more options, especially since there's nowhere to the original MCU character from the film, and just the likeness of it is really on point. Next, moving on to the new figure base. This looks like it's a pretty solid addition to Cap's kit so far. It's modeled to look more like a shield type of figure base and has that stealthy, gritty type of feel to it. Right. I also like how it's magnetic so that you can place Cap on it and pose them up relatively solid and not worry about having to adjust a figure stand, especially the height. Right. The rustic colors here look pretty solid, and I like how they've been able to make it look simple yet somewhat premium at the same time. It's definitely not the flashiest figure base, but then again, it's not supposed to be, right? So for the purpose of this figure and how it matches his kit, it's definitely a solid figure base and really like how it was delivered to us. Now, pre-ordering is currently live on Sideshow site now. And feel free to use the link in our bio if you need help getting it there. It'll run you around $280 retail, expected to ship out between Q4 to Q1 of 2026. So it'll definitely be a wait before the general collector, such as myself, will be able to run our hands on it, right? But overall, this is a great updated 2.0 figure with a good amount of accessories. It features a lot of new updates and feel close to, but not quite at the level of Hot Toys Artisan series, right? The price point sounds accurate to me considering the number of new accessories you get along with the updated figure body and sculpts. So if you're a fan of Cap and really like this suit like I do, then definitely PO to get your hands on him. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for joining me today as we explore the new Captain America Stealth Suit 2.0 figure from Hot Toys. Are you a fan of the new updates at all? Or do you just plan on keeping the 1.0 version over this one? Let me know in the comments below what really stands out to you and if you plan on picking them up at all. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more content and the coolest Marvel collectibles around. Until next time, folks, keep on collecting.